So, I decided to start my day, as I usually do most days, watching some Jimmy Dore while, I wake up, get in the shower. I like, listening to what he has to say. Uh, and a lot of, you know, the stories I get interested by are from him and other YouTubers. But, this directive right here, DoD Directive 520.01, is one of the most scariest bills I've seen, like, enacted in American history. And, you can call me, you know, you can call it hyperbole or whatever you will, but essentially, this document that we are going to get into fully allows um, allows the states to allows the states and military and police to use up to lethal force, in some cases lethal force, against its own citizens. And with everything going on in the past year, the past few years even, with the big guy and Joe Biden, like all these news as a whole, a lot of fishy stuff, dude, especially recently. Um, but we get into the actual document. Originating component being Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. It was effective September 27th, 2024, so last month. Cleared for public release, available by the Directives Division website. And there you go. Reissues and cancels, DoD Directive 520.1, DoD Intelligence Activities, August 27th, 2007, as amended. Um, and so essentially, what that means is that they amended this bill in 2007, and now that they've re-amended it, it's, we'll get into that. And then it was incorporated in 1980, December 7th, 1982. That's all you need to know. I need to know. Approved by Kathleen H. Hicks, Deputy Secretary of Defense. Um, the purpose of this is it implements Executive Orders 12, and 13,388 and Title 50 United States Code USC establishes policy and provides direction for DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities, assign responsibilities, and provide guidelines for defense intelligence component intelligence assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Um, I don't know if we're gonna go through this whole thing, but essentially, from me reading that, this is a directive which is supposed to let the government on municipal, provincial, or not provincial, state, and even federal level, obviously, to use its military and police forces and law enforcement against the citizens. Now we get to the applicability. This issuance applies to OSD, the military department, the office of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Joint Staff. The combatant commands the officer of Inspector General of the Department of Defense, the defense agencies, the DoD field activities, and all other organizational entities with the DoD referred to collectively in the issuance as the DoD components any DoD component when conducting the training of personnel to perform intelligence duties or activities. Any use of tradecraft as defined in the issuance, the conduct of research, development, testing, and evaluation for purpose of developing intelligence capabilities, and any intelligence-related and sensitive activities and related matters subject to the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, USDINS. I know I'm throwing a lot of big words at you, but once we get further down the article, then you're going to start to see how this bill is going to be used, most likely. And this is one of, like I said, one of the most ridiculous laws to ever be passed in America, in my opinion. Direction and control with DoD Directive, DoD 514301, are subject to the issuance and assistance to the Secretary of Defense for privacy, civil liberties, and transparency oversight. Bullshit. The issue implements paragraph 2.6 of EO 12333 as amended, except as otherwise specified in this issuance. The issuance applies to all defense intelligence components when providing intelligence assistance to law enforcement agencies or other civil authorities. So, pretty much what this later turns out to be is this bill really is for the government and local authorities to exert their force on its population. And why would that be so important a month sorry about that, that was gross. Why would this be so important a month before an election? Well, I mean, there were a couple incidents leading up to the last election, and even after the election. There's like this small event that not many people know about at the Capitol. It's a small thing nobody knows about. Definitely nothing fishy about that one too. But I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to talk about that event and, the conspiracies behind it. So, the issuance does not apply to activities conducted by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, pursuant to Section 442 of Title 10, USC, of Section 3045 of Title 50, USC, for humanitarian assistance, disaster readiness, response, and recovery. Well, that's pretty relevant to what's going on now. Maritime and aeronautical safety of navigation, environmental and security vulnerability studies, mapping, charting, and geodetic missions. Other similar activities not constituting foreign intelligence or counterintelligence. So, this bill essentially is letting the government do what they've done to other countries for decades now. You can argue a century at this point. Pretty much, they are going to exert all the force. They're going to do exactly what they did to all these countries in the Middle East and any country America has invaded, where they will use force until Americans comply with the current leader. That almost sounds, fascist, That might just be me, though. Might just be me. Um, now, now we're getting into the big ones. Support of civil authorities or civilian law enforcement agencies conducted in accordance with DoD 3025.18, DoD Instruction DoDI 302520, or DoDI 302521, including when such support is provided by defense intelligence components, units, personnel, or assistance. The use of animals in DoD conducting supported research, development tests, and evaluations, including experimentation or training conducted in accordance with DoDI 321601. This bill really is just a matter of the government wanting ways to exert force on its citizens. And you've seen it for years. Like, you know, no matter what part, no matter where you lie, politically, right, left, right, middle, you don't care. Like, this is concerning, right? Like how can anybody support this? And this is only, we've only read 2 pages. We still got what's that, 19 more pages? But a DoD intelligence related activities will be conducted in accordance with the issuance applicable laws, EOs, including EO 12333 again, as amended, Presidential Directives DoD 514.13, Secretary of Defense memoranda, and other DoD policies, and DoD manual, DoD 5240.01. Special emphasis will be given to the protection of the constitutional rights and privacies of U.S. persons. What are these emphases, right? I mean, you look at January 6th, you look at the fact that you had guards waving people in and opening the barriers for people to come in. Again, who, the wording in these documents and the labels you are throwing around to innocent people, even people who aren't even hardcore Trump supporters. They just support his policies. They're voting for him for whatever reasons they want. You're telling me that they're not going to use this after everything that has gone on in the past 4 or 5 years? Well, do we not remember when all those cities were being taken over by all those movements pretty violently? You had a few casualties there. But anyways, it's, this bill definitely won't be used for any malicious intents. Where am I? The conduct of intelligence and intelligence-related activities, even if conducted by a DoD organization or element that is not an intelligence unit or intelligence funded, must be conducted consistent with the authorities and policy cited in paragraph 1.2. Defense intelligence and CI will be the all-source intelligence collections, analysis, sharing, and dissemination capability derived from intelligence and CI activities operations, and campaign plans provide to U.S. government and DoD decision makers and warfighters for military planning and operation. Intelligence activities will only be conducted by defense intelligence components or by other DoD components when specifically authorized by the Secretary of Defense, USDIS, or a Defense Intelligence Component head. Right? So, you're gonna allow lower agencies to have the same powers as these massive agencies like the Department of Defense, like the Department of Justice, that again, these departments aren't really meant for the inner workings of a city. They've been working on the foreign issues, you know. Like I said, you see what America has done on a global scale to any country they have gone into. It's not been good, and you know, stuff is definitely hidden from the public for sure. Um, but pretty much from here, defense intelligence and like it pretty much goes over um the departments that can use these powers, when they can be implemented, and that. But it's scary times. It really is. Um, I will link this entire thing in the description if you want to read the whole thing. But I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this directive, and leading into this election, man, it's definitely scary. Like even though I'm from Canada, right? You know, say we do see a use of force against, you know, people who support the big guy. That I don't know. We are really heading more and more towards a civil war, and yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about this Department of Defense Directive? Uh, well, yeah. What are your thoughts? Do you think this is right? I said it's not. That like this shit, this shit should be illegal. But I mean, they've been doing it for nearly a century to any other country or civilization. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Later.